Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, Tama and the Gentle Way He Stays. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't and like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. Tama never announced himself in the mornings. He didn't jump onto the bed, didn't bark, didn't lick my face until I woke up laughing and annoyed. Instead, he arrived softly, like a thought you almost forgot you had. By the time I opened my eyes, he was already there, curled up near my feet, breathing slowly, as if he had been waiting for hours just to make sure I didn't wake up alone. Mornings in our house were never rushed, at least not by Tama. Even on days when my alarm screamed urgency and my head was full of unfinished plans, Tama moved at his own gentle pace. He stretched one leg at a time, yawned widely without making a sound, and blinked at me as if to say, "There's no emergency here. You're still alive. The day can wait a moment." When I sat up, Tama followed, not too close, not demanding attention. He simply walked beside me, his tail swinging slowly, brushing against my leg like a quiet reassurance. In the kitchen, while I poured coffee and stared blankly at the wall, Tama lay down on the cool floor tiles. He always chose the same spot, close enough to see me, but far enough to give me space. Sometimes I talked to him. Not real conversations, just soft sentences floating in the air. "Today might be a long day," I said once. Tama didn't respond, of course. He just lifted his head slightly, ears relaxed, eyes calm. But somehow that was enough. His presence felt like someone listening without trying to fix anything. Outside, the neighborhood slowly woke up. Motorbikes passed, someone shouted hello to a neighbor, birds argued loudly on electric wires. Tama watched it all through the open door, never barking, never chasing the noise. He simply observed, like a peaceful witness to the world. What amazed me most was how Tama knew when to move closer. On days when I felt light and easy, he kept his distance, enjoying his own quiet happiness. But on mornings when my shoulders were heavy and my mind wandered into darker corners, Tama would inch closer, resting his head gently against my ankle, not asking for attention, just offering warmth. That was Tama's way. He didn't demand love. He offered it, patiently, softly, without conditions. And somehow, that made it stronger than anything loud or dramatic. Tama had a special talent. He knew how to stay without being noticed, and yet be deeply present at the same time. In the afternoons, when sunlight spilled across the living room floor, Tama positioned himself right in the middle of it. He didn't chase the brightest spot. He chose the warmest one, then settled there like he belonged to the light itself. I often worked from home, sitting at my desk for hours, my eyes tired and my back stiff. Tama never interrupted. He never pushed his nose into my hand or demanded a walk when I was busy. Instead, he slept nearby, adjusting his position every so often to stay connected, to the sound of my typing, to the rhythm of my breathing. Every now and then, when I sighed too deeply or rubbed my face in frustration, Tama lifted his head. He didn't rush to me. He just checked. "Are you okay? Do you need me?" If I said nothing, he went back to sleep. If I stood up and paced the room, he followed quietly, matching my steps. There was one afternoon I remember clearly. The sky was gray, and everything felt unfinished. My work, my thoughts, my sense of direction. I sat on the floor, my back against the couch, staring at nothing. Tama walked over slowly, sat beside me, and leaned his body against mine. No licking, no tail wagging, just warmth and weight and stillness. I placed my hand on his fur, feeling the steady rise and fall of his chest. That simple movement grounded me more than any words could. In that moment, I realized something important. Tama didn't try to make me happy. He just stayed with me while I felt whatever I was feeling. In the evenings, when we went for walks, Tama never pulled on the leash. He stopped often, to sniff a leaf, to watch a cat from a respectful distance, to listen to sounds I couldn't hear. Walking with Tama taught me how to slow down, how to notice small details, how to exist without rushing toward the next thing. People sometimes smiled at us. "He's so calm," they said. I nodded, but what I wanted to say was, "He's teaching me how to be calm too." Tama didn't need attention to feel important. He didn't need praise to feel secure. His quiet companionship reminded me that presence itself is a form of love. At night, the house felt different. Quieter. Softer. Tama always knew when the day was ending. even without a clock. He followed me from room to room as I turned off lights, brushed my teeth, and prepared for sleep. Not closely, not anxiously, just enough to stay connected. When I finally lay down, Tama chose his place carefully. Sometimes it was at the foot of the bed, sometimes beside it, never on top of me, never claiming space that wasn't offered. He respected boundaries in a way many humans struggle to understand. There were nights when I couldn't sleep. My thoughts ran in circles, replaying worries, mistakes, and questions without answers. Tama noticed. He shifted closer, resting his chin on the mattress, his eyes half open. If I reached down to touch him, his tail tapped the floor once or twice. Not excitement, just acknowledgement. I'm here. On stormy nights, when thunder rolled across the sky, Tama didn't panic. He didn't hide or tremble. He stayed where he was, calm and grounded. Watching him, I felt my own fear ease. If he could trust the world enough to stay still, maybe I could too. Living with Tama taught me that belonging doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be dramatic gestures or constant reassurance. Sometimes, belonging is simply staying, day after day, moment after moment, without needing anything in return. Tama never tried to be the center of my life. Yet somehow, he became an essential part of it. He showed me that love can be quiet, that loyalty can be gentle, that being present is sometimes the most powerful thing you can offer another living being. And in his own soft way, Tama changed how I see not only animals, but people, time, and myself. Tama's story reminds us that the bond between humans and animals does not have to be built on control, commands, or constant interaction. Instead, it can grow through patience, respect, and quiet presence. In today's fast-paced world, we often feel pressured to react quickly, speak loudly, and prove our worth through action. Tama shows us another way, a gentler way of living together. From him, we learn that staying beside someone during difficult moments can be more meaningful than trying to solve their problems. Animals, especially dogs, teach us emotional honesty. They don't pretend to understand everything, yet they never leave. This kind of companionship encourages us to slow down, listen more deeply, and respect boundaries, both our own and others. In practical life, we can apply Tama's lessons by being more present with the people and animals around us. Put down the phone when someone is near. Notice small changes in mood. Offer support without forcing solutions. When caring for animals, choose kindness over dominance and understanding over impatience. Ultimately, Tama teaches us that living well with animals helps us live better with each other. Through gentleness, consistency, and quiet love, we create a world where trust can grow, softly, naturally, and beautifully.